For our lead issue this week, there is a proposal to integrate the military's pension system and transfer this to the state-run Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS. This is not as simple as it may seem, because GSIS says that this move will require 7 trillion pesos in additional capital. Andre Cole has the story.
In the light of the proposal to integrate the military's pension fund into the government service insurance system, GSIS Chairman Francisco T. Duque III said that the pension fund has conducted studies since last year about the implications of this proposal. Although the figures that GSIS has come up with are still tentative because everything will depend on the scope of the coverage and the level of benefits that will be provided, the initial amount is still staggering.
Initially, the amount stood at 4 trillion pesos. Then it ballooned to 7 trillion based on the actuarial studies. GSIS Chair Francisco Duque clarified that the military's pension is different compared with traditional GSIS members. For one, the military's retirement age is 56, while the retirement age of traditional GSIS members is 65. Our BizWatch correspondent has more of the story.
Because the retirement age of military personnel is much earlier, the actuarial implications that will weigh in are very big. An economic team headed by Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III, together with the GSIS leadership, has been formed to make an in-depth study on the proposal. Separately, Finance Secretary Dominguez mentioned that there are proposals to allocate Gsis Conversion Development Authority's revenues to support the military's pension system. Secretary Dominguez is in talks with BCDA about what assets BCDA can possibly allocate for this. Nothing definite has come out of the talks yet. As for the proposal to integrate the military's pension fund into the GSIS, Secretary Dominguez said that this move would necessitate the approval of Congress because the transfer is a political decision that would impact the government's fiscal condition. The study conducted by the economic team will be completed before the year ends. The complexity that this proposal entails is enormous for the government, as the funding requirements for pensioners is likely to be equal to the annual operational budget of the Department of National Defense. At the moment, pensions for former soldiers and policemen are under a retirement scheme that is indexed to the salaries of those in active service. However, the government has to fund the pensions of retirees because the system is now capitalized by contributions from members.
The government now has to pay more for pensions than for the salaries of those still in active service. Last year, the pension budget amounted to 71 billion pesos. In 8 years, it is projected to double up and reach 187.9 billion.